welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure to like, comment and subscribe and click on that notification button to get a notification every single time that I post. So today I wanted to speak a little bit about Mental Health Awareness Month. So obviously, again, disclaimer, this information is purely for education and entertainment purposes, and please make sure to consult with the necessary health professional for your nutritional needs or for your needs with regards to your mental health. And again, another disclaimer that this is just from the research that I found, and if you want to learn more about any of the links between nutrition and mental health and specific disorders that I'll be mentioning, you can feel free to click on the links that I'll be providing down below. We all know that food and nutrition is important, but there's so many reasons why. And it all has to do with your brain and your gut. So I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, like, what does a dietitian do and what does nutrition have to do with mental health? Let me tell you, there's a lot. It's actually so interesting, the role that nutrition can play in mental health. So when there's a lot of inflammation in certain areas of the brain, it can cause people to be more predisposed to getting certain mental illnesses. So because of that fact, and because of the fact that we have antioxidants or anti-inflammatory foods, those foods can play a really massive role in helping to reduce the inflammation. Nutrition can even play a role in preventing certain mental illnesses. So there's a lot of nutrients that can actually be really protective against mental illnesses or various mental illnesses. So now I want to speak about two types of diets: the sort of traditional Western diet, and then the sort of Mediterranean diet. And I'll unpack each of them and then say why each can sort of have an impact on your mental health. Now, when we speak about the Western diet, I'm talking processed food, processed meat, red meat, lots of refined carbs, so like lots of white bread, lots of pasta, lots of high-fat foods. So this kind of diet is something that's pro-inflammatory, so it increases or it drives the inflammation in your body. And obviously when you're eating a diet like this, you're more likely to gain weight and become overweight. And overweight is also being overweight can be predispose you to developing certain mental illnesses because of the pro-inflammatory response, so increasing the inflammation in your body. And we know inflammation drives a lot of the causes of lots of different mental illnesses. Another thing that this pro-inflammatory diet does is that in your gut you have sort of a gut barrier, and it can cause this barrier to be more dysfunctional. The more inflammation you have in your gut, the more you'll increase your risk of developing certain mental illnesses. Now obviously this kind of diet, there's kind of like a cycle or like a vice versa when it comes to overweight, increasing your risks of developing certain mental illnesses, and again certain mental illnesses driving you to become overweight because of the medication that's involved, or because I know with a lot of specific mood disorders, especially we all gain comfort from food, and that's having certain mood disorders might make you more likely to be a comfort eater and rely on food for comfort, and therefore you end up eating a lot more than you usually do, and then you gain weight, and then it's just a cycle. Okay, and then when we speak about the Mediterranean diet, this is just like a general term for the diet that's like eaten by a lot of people, sort of like South Italy, or sort of Greece, sort of that kind of region, where it's a very anti-inflammatory diet. So it's a diet that's really high in fruits and vegetables, in healthy fats like your olives, olive oils, avocado, nuts and seeds. It's also a diet that's high in fish, which is also a really great source of healthy fats, and omega-3s, among other things. Obviously there's a lot of an antioxidant. In general, it's just a general term for any sort of compound that can get rid of the free radicals that go around in your system and do damage to your cells. Antioxidant rich foods a lot of the time are a lot of fruits and vegetables. So within the Mediterranean diet has plenty of specific nutrients that have been seen to be beneficial in improving or reducing symptoms of certain mental health or mental disorders, or even in preventing a lot of them. So the different nutrients that I'm going to be mentioning are antioxidants, flavonoids, prebiotics, probiotics, and omega-3s in no particular order. Now, when we speak about omega-3s, they're basically an essential fatty acid. Your body can't synthesize or make them, so you have to get it from food. Omega-3 essential fatty acids have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. The research shows that omega-3s can actually be a really interesting strategy to prevent symptoms and incidence of certain mental illnesses, and can even be seen as beneficial in preventing and treating anxiety and depression in certain groups. In a certain group of pregnant women who had been eating fish, they saw that fish actually reduced their risk of anxiety. And in general, there are some other interesting studies that saw that omega-3 can be sort of protective in reducing the symptoms of anxiety. There was a study that was done in 2011, and it was done on med students, and they found that when they gave them omega-3 supplements, that it actually helped to reduce their anxiety. Now, to all the med students out there, you know how stressful studies can be, and just to any student out there, it's really stressful. So yeah, I guess it was so interesting to see that the study showed that omega-3 and the anti-inflammatory properties that it have can be really beneficial in certain anxiety and mood disorders. There's also another study that was done where they supplemented omega-3 to certain groups of children. So the children actually had a family who had certain neuropsychiatric disorders, and supplementing them with omega-3 actually completely prevented them from developing these specific disorders later on. I'll mention which one it is down below. So that was also another interesting finding about omega-3. So it's really important to get your healthy fats in there. If you want to know what sources of omega-3 to get, make sure that you're getting healthy oily fish like tuna, there's pilchards, there's salmon. You can get it from rainbow trout and from wheat germ and oat germ. So from specific cereals, you can find it as well. Yeah, another nutrient that's really important is zinc. Now, zinc is an essential mineral. Almost every cell in your body actually needs zinc for various enzymes, and it helps with certain biochemical reactions in your body. Zinc is also a very anti-inflammatory and antioxidant, so it has been said to have antidepressant effects. But obviously, because zinc is an essential mineral, you can go into toxicity if you have too much zinc. So it's really important to focus on diet, and if you're someone who you have any deficiency, get a supplement. Otherwise, if you're not deficient, there's plenty of sources of zinc that you can get from your food, like kidney beans, peas, chicken, beef, baked beans, breakfast cereals, and even yogurt. So you can definitely easily get in enough zinc, whether you're plant-based or you're someone who does eat meat as well. Another thing that is very important is flavonoids. Guys, flavonoids are important. They're sort of like a phytochemical, or they have phytonutrients. So basically the different colors that are found in various fruits and vegetables, and they provide a lot of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties. Again, we speak about anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, and that always has a benefit on your mental health. So there was a really interesting study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Basically, they took 82,643 women between the ages of 53 and 80, and they were women who had previously struggled with depression, and they basically assessed their food intake and the different types of flavonoids that they were having within their diet. And basically they found that women who had more of a variety of flavonoids had actually significantly reduced their depression risk. But obviously we always say there needs to be more studies to actually back those kinds of claims. So when we say flavonoids, one of the really potent flavonoids is turmeric, or they call it curcumin, and there's a lot of studies done on the benefits and its antioxidant effects as well. But again, it's important to know how much of it can actually have the full benefits. But yeah, we have turmeric, we have certain citrus fruits, so your orange, you have your red, so your red cabbage, red onion, and then you have your root vegetables, so your ginger and your turmeric as well. And then we also have things like your green leafy vegetables, so spinach. All your fruits and vegetables have plant chemicals. They're called phytochemicals. They act as antioxidants. So eating a diet high in fruits and vegetables is It's really beneficial from the antioxidant perspective. A simple way of describing a prebiotic is it's any food that feeds the growth of beneficial bacteria in your gut. This can obviously have anti-inflammatory benefits and also benefits for your immune system if you have a healthy gut. There's some animal studies that have been done on prebiotics and the effects they have on certain mental illnesses, but there haven't been any effects in human studies that have been seen specifically with prebiotics and the effect they have on specifically depression and anxiety. But I guess when it comes to prebiotics, we just need a lot more research to be done to actually be able to know the effects that it will have on our mental health. But there's certain properties of those foods that are prebiotics that are beneficial in terms of their antioxidant properties. Okay, now when we speak about probiotics, they're basically live organisms which, if they're administered, they have a benefit for the host. But there's actually quite a lot of interesting research on probiotics and the benefits they have with regards to mental health. They also saw that probiotics had the ability in some studies to reduce negative ruminative thoughts after 1 month of supplementation in one specific study. So there was a study done on probiotics. They basically gave supplements to children in early life. They gave them probiotic supplements, and then they found that these children actually, all those who had gotten the probiotic versus those who were the control who didn't, they reduced their risk of developing ADHD or other neuropsychiatric disorders, which was something that was really interesting to see how beneficial probiotics can be and how the GIT and your gut can be. Obviously, as you can see, there's a lot of really beneficial effects of nutrition and how nutrition can play such an important role in reducing inflammation in the body and the antioxidant properties of foods. So that can play a big role in mental health and either preventing or treating certain disorders. But obviously, it's always important for us, like as professionals, to work as a team, and also to remember that it's not just nutrition that can play a role, but it's also, if you're someone who struggles with certain mental illnesses, it's working with your psychologist, making sure you're taking your medication, trying to stay active, because we know that exercise can be really beneficial and helpful to sort of improve your mood, to make sure that you're also eating well and eating enough. Anyways, guys, that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and click on that notification button to get a notification every time I post, and I'll see you in the next video.